Hello, good morning, team. My name is Asim. Welcome back to Cloud Asim YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to do one project that is deployment of Prime Video, that is Amazon Prime Video. It is a OTT platform, right? We are going to deploy as a Docker container, right? In this video. So if you check on my screen, you're able to see that there is a website of Prime Video, right? So basically, this belongs to Amazon. So this is Amazon Prime Video, right? So we have a this source code of this as a clone. So it will be replica of kind of the same UI which you are seeing on my screen, right? So what we will do, we will before heading towards, we will see that what are the architecture of this, right? And where is our source code and what we are going to configure and do all the step in order to deploy this application as a Docker container. Okay. So let's go to the whiteboard. Okay, if you check it over here, right, there is a simple project flow which we are going to do in this case. So as we know that the tickets will be assigned from Jira, right? And then afterwards, the source code resides centralized repository, that is GitHub. Okay, where we have a source code in our GitHub repository. Okay, and that repository, I will give that overview as well. If you check it over here in the ASIM 19, I have a repository with the name of uh, Amazon Prime Video Kubernetes. Okay, so if you check over here, it's trading Kubernetes, but we will cover this in a different video, next video. For this video, we are going to deploy and test as a Docker container. Okay, so this is video we are going to test it out. That is our application up and running as a Docker container. Okay, when we are satisfied with this deployment, then we will make another video of this project where we are going to deploy this project as a container into Kubernetes cluster. Okay. So in this video, if you see all the documents like related to this project is available, like we have a document of Kubernetes, okay, monitoring public. This is public images which is related to the project, right? That is for Prime Amazon Prime Video, where we have the images of this, right? So if you check over here, it contains Docker file, Jenkins file with the two version. One is without EKS cluster deployment, that is Kubernetes without Kubernetes deployment. The second one is contain EKS deployment, right? Jenkins file both, and I have a README document as well. Then later on, you're going to find one document with the project like PDF format where you can follow and you can complete this project. Okay. So this is the source code where it's available and it's public repository. So you can clone and you can fork from here and you can start working on this project. Okay. So let's go and discuss before heading towards what the architecture of the software as well. So in this flow, we are going to use Jenkins as a CI/CD tool in order to make everything automations, right? So you know very well that DevOps engineer, we love the automations. Okay, so we love the automation. So we are integrating everything like CI/CD. That means continuous integration or in continuous deployment. In the deployment, in the sense, we are using Dockerized deployment in this project. Okay. So later on, as we know, this source code, this application is built in Node.js. Okay. So let me validate as well that. So if you check over here, it's content package.json and log package.json, and it is built on which it is built on Next.js application and React.js combination of both. Okay. So that's flow and the project dependency, everything is mentioned over here. So what we are using, which kind of packages is being used for this application. Okay, so if you check package log.json, then you will be seeing the different modules and different libraries being used in this application, which is a need of this application to be up and running, right? That's fine. So this, after that, what we are going to use, we are going to add sec concepts in DevOps. That means we are going to cover this as a DevSecOps projects. Okay, where we are going to use Trivy to scan our file system. File system in the sense we will be scanning this complete repository in order to check that is there any vulnerabilities available in the dependencies which we are using for this project. And if there is any sensitive secret keys has been exposed, we will, what we will do, we will build this application as a Docker container. For that, we will create a Docker file where I will explain completely how to write a Docker file from the scratch. Then we will add Docker Scott. This is a one more security tool from the Docker where we can scan our Docker image what we have created in order to check the vulnerabilities, and we will work on that to fix that as well. Okay. Then afterwards, I will push the code into centralized Docker Hub. Okay, so that I have an account of Docker Hub. You can create the Docker Hub and you can push your image over there. Okay, then afterwards, we will, in the next video, we will cover as a Kubernetes. For this part, we are going to cover up to here, this part. Okay, so watch till end If you have guys not subscribed, please do subscribe so that you give support to my works. Okay, it will take a lot of efforts to create this kind of videos, so you are loving as well. So I see that there is a spike in my uh, engagement, right? So thank you for that and highly appreciate your efforts. Okay, so let's go and check this our lab. Okay, so if you check over here down, I have mentioned that I'm going to take one virtual machine from AWS. Okay, so the cloud computing option, right? Cloud computing gives the revolution for IT industry, where within minutes, within seconds, sorry, and within minutes, you can create your virtual machine in any location. Going to create a one EC2 instance, that is basically a virtual machine. On that virtual machine, I'm going to convert that virtual machine into server. Server in the sense which serves the machine which serves is known as server. Okay, so I will convert that machine into Jenkins server as well as SonarQube server. Okay, so what we'll note, we require one app server. For that use case, we will take the help of what? AWS. So AWS account, I have logged in into it. This account belongs to me. So if you don't have the account AWS and you're curious that how to create this AWS account, you can check out my channel where I have given all the all steps how you can create your first AWS account. Okay. So if you check here, I don't have any instance working running in my account. Okay. And the region I'm using is Mumbai. That is AP South 1 is a code, right? Okay. We are going to do this project in completely into AP South 1. Okay, so my all configuration will be redirecting over here. Okay, so if you check over here, I don't have any EC2 instance. Simply what I'm going to do is that I'm going to click on this instance. So I'm requesting AWS to create one EC2 instance. So it seems like you may be new to launching EC2 instance. You need to walk through to learn about EC2. So I'm already experienced, so I don't require this suggestion from AWS. So simply what I'm going to do it, I'm saying that this is app server. Okay, so here we are going with the uh, with Ubuntu operating system. Okay, Ubuntu operating system is a Linux distribution, right? One kind of flavor for Linux operating system. I will be going with the LTS version of Ubuntu 24.04. So whenever you are working in your environment and organization, you must go with all the application with LTS, that is latest stable version. Okay, so after that, I'll be keeping architecture as same. Here, the provision will be T2 micro. So I'll be going over here and I'll be selecting as T2 X large. Okay. We can go with the T2 large. Okay, that's fine. So T2 large, and I'll be creating one key over here. That key I'm going to use in this project. Okay, for this EC2 instance, and I'm going to create one more EC2 instance in the second phase of this application, this project, right? Where we are going to create one monitoring server. Okay, in that monitoring server, I'm going to use the same key pair. Okay, so I'm going to click on this. So I'm going to save as the name. Let's give it as the project like Prime Video, right? Prime Video. Okay, so I'm going to download as a .pem key. Okay, so it will be downloaded in my download folder. Network, I'm going to keep it as a default, and for the current now I'm just opening SSH traffic. Okay, so just I'm going to keep it as the same. If I want, we can give it the name as well. So what I'm going to do it, I'm going to click over here and I'm going to give one name so that I can remember that what is the security name. So here also I'm going to give it as prime video SG. That's referred to security group. Okay, so let's copy over here, then I'm going to paste it. Okay, so that's fine. Then afterwards I'm giving, because I'm going to create multiple tools, right? I'm going to install multiple tools, so I require minimum 20 GB of hard disk. Okay, so this fine. Just I'm going to review everything, then I'm going to click on this launch instance. So it will create, it will request AWS to create one virtual machine in the region of Mumbai. Okay, in the Mumbai they have their data centers, right? In the data center we have requested to create one virtual machine. So what that machine, that initialization has been successfully done. And now if I'm clicking on this ID, so that EC2 instance is tagged with this ID. Okay, so whatever you are going to see is that in this EC2 instance with this tag only, everything will be linked up. Okay, like if I check over here, so if you check down, you'll be finding that one IP also has been given, that is public IP. Okay, status, monitoring, security, and everything is done, right? So now in the point, I'll be opening security group, so that let's open the security group and enable remaining ports. Okay, if you check over here, there is a one part over here, edit endpoint rules. So let me open edit endpoint rules. Okay, so here let me add new rules over here. So the rules which I'm going to add it over here is 8080. That's the default for Jenkins. If you don't know, you must brush your knowledge as well. Okay, this is for SSH. Then I'm going to open HTTP protocols. Okay, HTTP over here is run on 80 port. This will be your interview question as well, right? So if you don't have the networking knowledge, you can search my videos and you can have hands-on on the networking as well. Okay, so just I will be adding protocols. Then I'm going to add it as HTTPS. The reason is that later on we are going to uh, attach one domain to this application. Okay, so HTTPS. And then afterwards, I need to add SonarQube as well, right? So I'm going with the custom CTP. SonarQube default port number is 9000. Okay, so SonarQube runs on which port number? 9000. Okay, afterwards we need to send the email notification as well, right? For that we will be adding a multiple default. Let me just go over here and let me search SMTP. Yes, SMTPS runs on 465. Okay, then afterwards I required one more 587. Let me go with the custom 587, right? So let it add as SMTP, SMTPS, that's run on secure shell. Okay, so this all we have added. The remaining, if we require any more additional posts to be open, we will open while working this in the project. Okay, so the let me save this and move forward. So let's find. Okay, so I think we have to open one more port, that is 3000, on which our application will be running, right? So this is a Node.js application. By default, Node.js application run on which, on 3000 port. Okay, just save the rules over here. So this has been a rule, all this has been, right, has been saved over here, right? So now what we will do, it we will go back over to the EC2 instance, and let me copy this here, and let me go to MOBA Extram, right? So this MOBA Extram is SSH client app through which you can access your servers, and that history also will be saved over here. Okay, so whenever you require to restart your sessions, you can just click and your session will be restarted. Okay, so I'll be clicking on this session. Then in the session, I'm going for SSH. Then I'm going to give it over the IP address which I have copied. Then I'm going to give it as Ubuntu. Okay, then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to give the key which I have downloaded in my download folder. Okay, so Ubuntu is fine. I'm clicking OK. So you're able to find that I have been logged in into my EC2 instance. Okay, right. So what we will do, it we will edit, so that we should remember with this name. Okay, so we will do some customization. I'll go bookmark and I will give it as app server. Okay, then let me do some advanced terminal is fine. Over here, normal tab. Okay, customize tab color. Then I'm going to give it over here. And click it on OK. Okay, so let me open one more time in the new tab. Okay, okay. So what we did, we just renamed this our EC2 instance. Okay, so if you check out over here, that we have logged in successfully into this EC2 instance. Okay, So what we will do it now, as we know that whenever we are going to create one EC2 instance, we need to update this all the packages which we have, which has been default installed in EC2 instance. So simply the best practice is to update the packages. So the command is the sudo apt update, and the y tag we are giving so that it should not ask me yes or no prompt. Okay, so it will update all the by default packages. Okay, if you don't know the Linux, okay, Linux part, you can check out my channel where you can learn from zero to hero of the Linux completely. Okay, which I'll be adding the link in the description as well, so you can go and check. It's around 4.5 hours boot camp in which you can have expertise about the Linux. If you know the Linux, you can install any application, you can work on this complete Kubernetes, Ansible, any kind of tools if you have expertise in Linux. Okay, so we have to update the packages over here. So after that, what we will do it now, the first step, we will go to our repository. Okay, so if you check over here in our account, right, let me go to GitHub repository. So the repository in my account, 𝗲𝗂𝗏 19, there is Amazon Prime Video Kubernetes, right? Here I have all the dependency of this project, where I have Kubernetes. If you go into the Kubernetes, you'll be finding the Jenkins file for this and the guide and the manifest.yml. Okay, as the same, we are following everything. In the progress of this video, I will give you all the briefing of these packages. Okay, for now, just I'm going to clone it this, just okay, so I'm going to clone into my app server which I have created. Okay, so the point is that I have installed Git. No, I haven't installed Git, right? So if I print over here, it's printing that the Git is installed. The version is 2.430, but the point is that I haven't installed any Git on this virtual machine. So by default, when you're going to work in the Ubuntu operating system, Git is by default being installed on this Ubuntu operating system. You no need to install separately. Okay, so what we are going to use, let's go some hands-on on the Gits as well. So the command is the git clone and the URL of this repository. Okay, so I think I have, so let me go to the repository again. Let me copy over here. Then I'm going to paste over here. Okay, so hit enter. So you'll be finding that all the repository which is available in my GitHub has been cloned. Okay, so now if I ll over here, I will be able to find all the directories, right? The code which I've cloned from GitHub, that has been cloned into my virtual machine, right? That is app server. So let me go inside this and check out what code is available, right? If you go inside over here, you're able to find that all what is the dependency of this project has been cloned. Okay, so what are there? There are uh, public scripts, everything, Terraform, Kubernetes, right? All things. Okay. So now what we required, we need to install as per our project diagram, right? So what we need to install, we need to install SonarQube, right? SonarQube, Jenkins, the Node.js, Aqua Trivy, right? Even we need to install Docker, right? And we need to install Docker socket as well. Okay, and later on we required to create one EKS cluster of Kubernetes. Okay, so for this everything I have a one repository side. Sorry, there is a one folder. In that folder, I have all the details like monitor. Sorry, not this. There is a script. If you check the script over here, you'll be finding that all the scripts are available that has driven from their official websites, right? So by executing this shell scripts, we can install our application and dependency of this project on our virtual machine. Okay, so let's go back over here. And what we will do it, we will go inside the script because we have clone, right? So if I ll over here, ll hyphen here, let us go over here. So you will to find that this all are available, right? So what we are going to do it first, let's install the Jenkins once, right? So for that, if you check over here, there is no executor permission had been given to this shell scripts. So what I'm going to do it, I'm going to give executor permission to all the script in a one go, right? So simply if I'm going to check out over here, there is a code over here. Just I'm going to copy this. Okay, either I can copy or else I can just execute this shell script so that it can execute, and it can execute. In this execute file, there I have the permission, right, to give execute permission to all the shell script files available in this directory that is given as dot. Okay, so let's try this as well. So instead of execute providing manually, let's execute one shell script. Okay, for that what I need to do it simply shmod. So I'll give it executable permission to this file, that is permission execute.s. Okay, so if I give it over here, so if you head into over here, if you ll, you're able to find that one file I have given manually the executable permission. So let us execute this file. Okay, and we will see that what shell scripts provides you. Okay, so by the shell scripts, what will happen, what you can do it, you can execute multiple commands by sequence what you give in the shell script. Okay, so shell scripts is loved by DevOps engineer in order to automate your efforts. Okay, so if I want to do 10 tasks periodically, so I'll be creating one shell script. In the shell script, I'm going to define all the steps required in order to execute that task. Okay, so I'm going to execute the shell script that will do sequentially the steps what I've given in shell script. Okay, this is the advantage of shell scripts. As a DevOps engineer, you should have hands-on knowledge on the shell scripts. Okay, so if I LL over here, then you're able to find that while executing this one shell script, what it done, it has executed the command, what the command was inside that shell script. That was echo make, all this echo command was there. Then I have given schmod change modified, right, give executable permission to sh file. So if you check over here, the output is that all these shell scripts have been added as executable permissions. So if you check over here, it is coming up as XXX. Okay, that means executive permission has been given. Okay, so now the first, as we mentioned, we are going to install Jenkins. So what I'm going to do is search Jenkins. Okay, so it will install Jenkins on our virtual machines. Okay, so what will happen, it will install first Java, because let me give the overview of that as well. Okay, so if you check over here, first thing what will happen, it is updating the packages. Then afterwards, it's installing OpenJDK 17. Okay, this is a Java 17. So the dependency of Jenkins is that whenever you are going to install Jenkins, that you need to install on the same machine Java first. Okay, the version is minimum 17. You need to install. Then you can go ahead and install remaining things, because this Jenkins is built on Java. Okay, Java programming language. So I'm installing Java, then I'm going to get one key from this, okay, from the jenkins.io. Then after that, I'm updating the packages after the key is fetched into my repository, into my virtual machine. Then afterwards, I'm installing Jenkins. Then I'm enabling the Jenkins so that whenever I'm going to restart this virtual machine, right, this kind of activity, Jenkins should be auto rebooted. Okay, then afterwards, I'm adding sudo ctl start Jenkins. So I'm starting the Jenkins. Okay. So let's go into the virtual machine and check it over here that is executed or not. So it's stating that all the things have been executed. How do we are going to verify this? So simply Jenkins hyphen version, right? So if I hit enter, it's stating that Jenkins has been installed. The version of the Jenkins is 2.492.3. Okay, this is the latest version, and we are going with the stable version of the Jenkins. Okay, so now if I want to check over here, because it's creating one service, right? When you install Jenkins, it will create by default systemctl status Jenkins. By default, it will create one service that is with the name of Jenkins. Okay. If you check over here, it's stating that Jenkins service is created. That basically Jenkins is a continuous integration server. As we know that this is CI/CD server, right? So all this is saying that active and running. Okay. So now the point is that we have installed Jenkins, right? So what we will do it, we will go and we will copy our. Let me just edit over here and take the IP address, copy, right? So I'm going into the browser, then I'm going to go over here, I'm going to paste it, then I'm going to give it 8080. Okay. So Jenkins UI, that is the client app, client interface will be open. So if you check over here, it's stating that if you want to unlock Jenkins, then what you need to do, you need to go into this path and you will be finding one password. That password I need to give it over here. Okay, so it's giving the path of this, right? So that it's secure way. So who has the access of what of this virtual machine on which Jenkins install, they only able to log in as an administrator. Okay, so we have created the Jenkins, we have installed the Jenkins, and I do have the access of this virtual machine, right? In your case, when you're working, you are only the one, you'll be having the access of your virtual machine. So in this case, you're going to copy this path, go over here, you go for Control C, right? Then use cat. Before that, use sudo, because currently which I'm user, I'm working as a Ubuntu user. Okay, so Ubuntu user does not have the administration permissions. Okay, root permissions. So I'm using cat command to just to view, paste over here. Just a second. Let me copy the path. Let me go over here and paste it and hit enter. So it is printing us the password of the Jenkins. Okay. So I have copied the Jenkins password. I'll be going back to Jenkins UI. Okay, dash. I'm going to continue over here after pasting. So it will validate our password. It's stating that okay, password is correct. Okay, so it has given me one step to go ahead. So now it's saying that customize Jenkins. So you need to install some plugins. Do you need to install as suggested default plugins, or I will select and install? For our use case, what we'll do, we'll go with the default plugins. So remaining plugins which are not installed by the default, we will install manually. Okay, so let me click on this. So it will install this all the plugins. Okay, meanwhile what we'll do, we'll go back over here and let me clear the screen and ll. So what we have, sorry, let me clear one more screen, ll-a, so that it should print in alphabetic order, right? So what we will do it now, as we know that Jenkins is installed, so let us install Docker as well. Okay, sh Docker. So what will happen, it will install Docker on my virtual machine. So as I stated over here, right? So let me go over here. So let's show the Docker. Okay, simply what happened, it's updating the packages. So it's installing Docker with the command of docker.io. Then what happened, it's adding Ubuntu user into the Docker group. By default, when you are creating installing a Docker group is created and the Docker user also is created. Okay, so Docker user has a permission to see the Docker images, Docker container. Okay, Ubuntu is a different outside user, right? Different Ubuntu is a default user while creating Ubuntu virtual machine, right? So as well as the Jenkins user is created when I have installed Jenkins on my virtual machine. So these two user does not have the permissions to view Docker as being Docker Ubuntu user or Jenkins user. I cannot see any Docker images, Docker PS in our virtual machine. So for that use case, we am adding this Ubuntu into the Docker group so that whatever the permission Docker has, that all permission will be applied to these two users. Okay. Then afterwards, adding this, I'm refreshing the Docker group. Okay, so that this whatever changes I have added that need to be dated and reflected. Okay, so after that I'm giving the socket docker.socket. We need to give the permissions in order to execute all our Docker commands. Okay, then afterwards I'm restarting the Docker, then I'm printing Docker version over here. Okay, so let's go over here and let us check the Docker is installed, and let me validate Docker version. So it's printing that the Docker version is 26.13. Okay, so let me cat dockeration. So now what we will do it, as we mentioned that, right, in the diagram I have mentioned that I'm going to create this virtual machine as different purpose. Okay, one Jenkins server, I'm already created the Jenkins server. Then I need to create this as a SonarQube server as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do it, I'm going to take this command which is there over here and paste it over here. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do it, I'm going to create SonarQube container, right? And I'm going to map that container IP with our host IP, sorry, host port. Okay, container port to the host port. Host is the virtual machine, container by default SonarQube run on 9000. Okay, so that, and I'm going to take the image is SonarQube LTS community. So if I hit enter, so what will happen, the first step, SonarQube will Docker will try to find SonarQube LTS image which I have given the name over here in the command, right? So it's trying to find the locally and it's saying that it's unable to find. Then the second step from the Docker, it will, the first it will try to search on this virtual machine. If could not find, then it will go to the Docker hub and it will search this image. So it has search the image in the Docker Hub. Okay, so I'll give the Docker Hub overview to you as well. As I'm going to search SonarQube on this Docker Hub registry, right? Basically, Docker Hub is a central registry for the Docker images. Okay, where you can create your account as well in order to push your image to your account and to fetch the images from your account to different virtual machine, different environments. Okay, so what we do, if you click over here, you will to find that I can fetch this SonarQube with the tag of LTS. Okay, latest version will be LTS Enterprises. Right over here is a latest over here. Okay, different tags have been given. Right. So what happened? It has fetched and it has created pulled the complete this image from the Docker Hub. Then afterwards, it has started creating the Docker container out of this Docker image. Okay, the image name is Sonar LTS Community. Okay, so it's saying that downloaded newer image for LTS is completed. Then afterwards, it's had added SSA, that is encryption of 256. So let us check over here Docker images. Okay, so I have not created any images or pulled images, right? So by default, when I'm going to create one container of the SonarQube, it has fetched the image from Docker. If you hit enter, it's saying that SonarQube LTS community image with the tag LTS community has been fetched. The reason is community in the sense is that we are going with the SonarQube free version, right? If I'm going with the enterprises in the organization, they go with the enterprises. Okay, but the community is open source version of SonarQube where you have uh, some features are the minimal features is given in the community edition. If you want more enhanced feature, then we have to go with SonarQube Enterprises level, right? Enterprises version. With that, we need to buy that. We need to buy that version. Okay. So here, our use case will be handled with LTS community only. Okay. So that's fine. Now what we have done, we have created Docker container, right? So how do we check the Docker container running? So Docker PS. So Docker PS will print us the Docker container which are up and running. If I want to check Docker PS -a, it will print you all the Docker container which are up and running, which are in the stop state as well. Okay. So if you check over here, one Docker container is created with the name as Sonar. Okay, and it has taken image, right? Image with this image is as created, and the port mapping what we have done is given 9000 and 9000. That means I should be able to find my SonarQube server on 9000. Okay, so let's go and check this, right? So let me go over here, let me copy this and let me open into new tab. So here I'm going to give it as 9000. Okay, hit enter. So you will to find that one SonarQube dashboard, right? Login page is enabled now. Okay, that means our installation is successful now, right? So as I mentioned now, I have converted the virtual machine into Jenkins server, SonarQube server, and now I need to install Trivy and remaining dependencies of this project. Okay, the dependency as I mentioned that I need to install what I need to install Trivy, right? And remaining AWS CLI and remaining thing in order to create EKS clusters, right? So let's go to m- our virtual machine. If I let me clear this everything and let us go over here. Now what I am going to do is that I have completed one Jenkins, then afterwards I have done Docker sh. Okay, so now what we will do it now simply as I mentioned that I'm going to install Terraform in our machine. Okay, the reason is that later on I'm going to create one monitoring server, right, with the use of Terraform is infrastructure as code. Okay, with this you can manage your infrastructure as a code. Okay, so it is installing Terraform. So Terraform version is printed, that's fine. Terraform is done. Then afterwards what we will do it, we will install AWS CLI. Okay, AWS CLI is used, right, where I'm going to give the credentials of my AWS account. Just a second. Okay, AWS CLI is the SDK of AWS, right? In order to, when I'm going to communicate this virtual machine with my AWS account, I required one SDK, that is AWS CLI. Okay, so AWS CLI I'm going to install in this virtual machine in order to configure AWS on this machine. Okay, so let's install AWS CLI. So AWS CLI is getting installed. Okay, that is successfully, the version is printed. AWS CLI is 2.27.1 is installed. Okay, so let me clear this again. Then if I ls over here, then what happened, I need to install kubectl. Okay, so if you check over here, there is a two shell script, that is EKSCTL and kubectl. Okay, EKSCTL is used in order to create EKS cluster, that is basically a Kubernetes cluster in a managed AWS services. Okay, and kubectl is used where you are going to communicate with your Kubernetes cluster in order to create your pods, create your nodes and everything. Okay, so first what we will do, we will install kubectl. Okay, kubectl, that's fine. Kubectl is installed over here, the version is given. Now what we will do, it we will install EKS, so that later on we will create one EKS cluster as well in order to host our application. Okay, so sh client tab is given, everything is given, that's fine. EKSCTL also is done. What is remaining, let me check it over here. Okay, we need to install Trivy as well. Trivy, in order to install Trivy, we will execute Trivy shell script as well. So what will happen, it will execute Trivy. Okay, so Trivy is used to find the vulnerability in our source code file. Okay, so the source code, as I mentioned, the source code is reside in where, in our GitHub repository. So in this case, if you find any packages is outdated or any sensitive information like our PIM key of our server, of our EC2 instance, okay, any API keys, okay, any sensitive information has been hard coded in this any code level, right? That will be scanned, file system will this our project file system will be scanned by Trivy, and it will create one report, a report stating that what are the sensitive information has been leaked and what are the packages is expired or vulnerability had been recorded, and you can update with the latest version. Okay, this I will be showing in the progress of this project. Okay, if you come long away till this time, that means I feel that you're finding interesting in this project, so don't forget to subscribe. So now it's a point that you can just click on the subscribe button, and you can like this video as well, so that a maximum students can reach this video. Okay, so let's progress in this project. As I mentioned that we have executed all the shell scripts. This Grafana and Kubernetes we will do in the monitoring server. Currently, all our prerequisite of shell script installation and the dependency of this application has been completed. Now what we need to do, we need to go and configure these tools. Okay, so as I mentioned that right, we have installed different tools now, like AWS CLI, EKS cluster and everything, right? Like SonarQube, Jenkins, Docker Hub, everything. But we have not integrated anywhere. So how do we integrate that? For in this use case, Jenkins will come into play. Jenkins is a CI/CD tool where you can integrate multiple DevOps tool in order to create, in order to trigger that pipeline. With that pipeline, all this application will be integrated, and all the stages will be passed in our pipeline. Okay, that flow I'll be explained to you completely. Okay, don't worry about that. So basically, as I mentioned, that DevOps loves Jenkins. Okay, DevOps guys loves Jenkins, so that to automate our tasks. Okay, so whenever the code is triggered to our GitHub repository, automatically it will trigger the Jenkins pipeline. The Jenkins pipeline will do all the steps what we have specified in the Jenkins file. Okay, pipeline script. So let's go to first to the Jenkins. So if you check over here, the Jenkins is successfully installed. So what we will do it now, we will just give it as the name and user as we remember, right? Okay, so the credentials I have given, you can give it as per your requirement when you're working on this project. Okay, save and continue. So just I'm going to save it, so that, and we know very well that is working, this is up and running on this IP of a virtual machine and 8080 port number. Okay, save and finish. start using Jenkins. Okay. So let's give the brief view of the Jenkins as well, because a lot of student is saying that please give an overview of the Jenkins. This is a dashboard of Jenkins. Okay. So if you check over here, you'll be finding that this is a the username, right, which I have given over here, right? That is 𝗏𝗀𝗀. Basically, I'm the administrator, which I can manage the Jenkins. Okay, Jenkins has a user management as well, where I can create multiple users in order to come in order to access the Jenkins servers. Okay, so if you check over here, you'll be finding that there is a left side, there is a new item, build history, manage Jenkins, and my view. In the right side, you'll be finding that there is a create job. Okay, so new item and the create job both are same. So it's sometimes called as an item, it's called as a job. Okay, so it's basically a pipeline job. Okay, so if you check over here, it's stating the set up a distribution build. So the point is the set up an agent. Agent in the sense is that when you have a Jenkins server set up, right? So in the organization, you have continuous multiple projects being hosted and multiple environments been created, right? Like dev environment, stage environment, production environment, pre-prod environment, right? Then you have UAT environment. Okay, multiple environments are there. It's almost like 40 to 30 environment based on your how your organization is there. If your organization is corporate organization and it is MNC, at the point you will have multiple environment. Okay, so in this case, if I'm going to create like for example 20 pipelines, and you want to trigger this 20, let's say all 20 uh, code has been pushed to GitHub repository and you have enabled webhooks, right? So at the time 20 pipeline will be triggered. Okay, so by default, if you check in the left side, so you can execute only two pipeline one time. Okay, that means two executors are enabled by default. Okay, so at the time what will happen if I'm going to trigger 20 pipeline, that means 18 will be in the queue. Okay, and what will happen, that will the load on the Jenkins server will be high. Okay, so when you remember that whenever you are working, when you're opening one business and the load is on you, right, when you're working as a alone, then what you're going to do it when you have a heavy load, at that time you're going to hire one more employee so that he can work under you. The same things goes with the Jenkins. Whenever the Jenkins has more uh, project pipelines integrated within that, and you need to give more power to the Jenkins, at the time you're going to go with the Jenkins master and slave concept. Okay, so the slave is known as agent. Nowadays they are saying that slave cannot be called because there is a lot of petition has been filed. So this Jenkins architecture has been revised with what, with the Jenkins master and node. Okay, agent and node is same thing. Okay, where you can create one more Jenkins server, Jenkins virtual machine on which you can install Java and you can integrate that in Jenkins. You can add over here so that we can specify some pipeline to be executed on that slave Jenkins, right? Jenkins slave. Okay, virtual machine. That's fine. So here, if you check here, this is to create, where you can find the build history. Next, manage Jenkins. Okay, if you go into the manage Jenkins, you will be finding that you can integrate multiple things on this Jenkins server. The system in the sense, if you want to integrate any servers, then you need to add all this in system. That means SonarQube is a server, right? Where servers you need to add in the global system. Okay, tools you can specify the tools like Java, right? Java, Node.js. You may add Sonar Scanner. Different tools you need to integrate in this screen. When you need to add tools, you need to go for this setting. If you need to add any system and the servers, okay, then you need to go to the system. These are the plugins which give you addition. So add, remove, disable, enable plugin that can extend functionality of Jenkins. Jenkins have one default functionality. With it, if you want to add multiple functionality to the Jenkins, you can add as a plugin. Okay, so let's say if I want to view one movie, for example, right? So what I'm going to do it, I'm going to copy that movie into one flash drive, that is a pen drive, right? So what I'm going to do it, in case instead of copying that movie from the flash drive to my laptop, what I'm going to do, just I'm going to plug that pen drive into my laptop, into my PC. Then I'm going to go access that pen drive and I'm going to play the movie, right? So how did I plug that with the port is given on my laptop? Okay, that is known as plug in. Basically, they will say that's plug in. Okay, so that means this laptop I've given like functionality, access functionality, where you can add your hard disk, where you can add pen drive or different type of tools, right? Like even given laptop to connect to the monitor as well, right? So this all given as a plugin. So in this Jenkins, this everything goes virtual. Okay, if I want to add any plugins, then I need to go into the plugin. I need to add it. Node, I have specified to you just now, straight in there. If I want to go with the mark Jenkins master and slave concept, right, architecture, then I can go for node and I can add slave credentials, everything over here in order to connect a master Jenkins slave to my Jenkins master. Okay, the cloud, if you're going with the any cloud provider like Jenkins cloud and everything, appearance that you can you can change UI of this. Okay, security, credential is this is very important. Credential is is a vault of Jenkins where you are going to add more credentials, like you can store the credentials and you can call from Jenkins pipeline. That means, for example, if I say that you have a gold in with you, right, where you're going to keep that gold, you may keep in your locker or you can go for the bank lockers. Okay, where you're going to keep your gold or your precious things and you're going to lock it. So whenever you want to access, you'll be having authorized access of that, and you are the only person you're going to access that. Okay, so instead of keeping that your precious metals like gold or diamond openly, what you're going to do, you're going to keep that in a safe. Okay, so over here in the IT, your API keys, right, your Jenkins sorry, your server credentials like username and the password, GitHub token, that are precious metals. Okay, that means are the gold in software, so you cannot expose anywhere. Okay, so you cannot expose even in the Jenkins pipeline. You need to store this into your vault and you need to call from the Jenkins pipeline. Okay, this I will be showing you. Then afterward, as I said, that Jenkins has master, Jenkins has user management as well. So this Jenkins, let's say there is a one in the organization, Jenkins will be one Jenkins administrator. Then you have Jenkins available for QA developers and the QA team as well. So in this case, you will specify different pipelines like QA dev pipelines. So Q dev team has dev pipelines access. QA team will have QA pipeline access. Okay, DevOps team will have overall access. Okay, this can be handled by users. Okay, Jenkins user. So this I've given the brief view. So now what we will do it over here. First, we will go and we will install plugins. Okay, to give it more power to Jenkins. Okay, so if you check over here, first let's install Eclipse terminal. This we required when we need to specify JDK version, because we need to specify a JDK version in order to connect with SonarQube. Okay, so that is one is done. Then I will need a SonarQube integration, right? So for that, I'm going to go with SonarQube scanner, right? SonarQube quality gate, right? These two I'm going to check out. Okay, then later on I need more like let's go with stage view, because I'm going to go create one Jenkins pipeline, that is declarative pipeline, right? So in this case, I'm going to go with stage view. So pipeline stage view plugin I required, so that we can whenever we are pipeline is executed, it should print me in the UI of stages. Okay, stages 1 to 10, for example. Then afterwards I need to install Node.js plugin as well, because my application is Node.js. Okay, so basically it's created in the React.js. Okay, so the dependency of Node.js is involved over here. Okay, then afterwards Docker, because I'm going to create uh, Docker, right, Docker of our application. Then I'm going to use the Docker stage Docker steps in our Docker pipeline. Okay, so this all I'm going to add it over here. Okay, so what are this? Docker common, Docker pipeline, and Docker API. Then afterwards, later on in the stage, I'm going to you create one more deployment, right? CDE pipeline, where I'm going to deploy this application into Kubernetes cluster. Okay. In this case, I required what I required Kubernetes. So if you check over here, you'll be finding Kubernetes plugin, client API, Kubernetes credential, Kubernetes CLI, and provider. Okay, then we'll go with the Kubernetes pipeline DevOps steps. Okay, so this all plugins I do require. Okay, So if you check over here, how many I have checked out, so it's almost nearby 10, possibly it's 15 plugins which we have checked out. Okay, so all this plugin is getting installed. It's saying the success is installed. Okay, so we will add one more plugin, okay, which I missed out, that is for Blue Ocean. So let's install this Blue Ocean plugin so that we can start any our pipeline from different stages. Okay, now all the plugins has been installed. So what we will do, we will restart our Jenkins so that all plugins should be restarted. Okay, our Jenkins server has been restarted, right? So what we will do, we will give the username when what we have created, right, while configuring Jenkins. Okay, so I'll be keep me signed in. Okay, so I have been successfully logged in. Okay, all the plugins has been effective. So if I'm going, I'm into the dashboard of Jenkins. Okay, here if you check on the left side, as we mentioned, is here you can create your new job. Okay, that is basically is a pipeline. Okay, so if I check over here, it will give me the prompt to create one pipeline. If it, so if you check over here, open Ocean Blue. If you check, if you click on this, they'll be changing one interface, and it will give more option to create your Jenkins pipeline, and you can start this pipeline, next pipeline from any stage. Okay, so we will have a overview of this while creating the pipeline. Okay, so for now I'll going to go and I'm going to create one first pipeline. So I'm going to click on this new item, then I'm going to say that I'm going to create for which application we are working for, Amazon Prime Video. Okay, so here there is an option that you can create this pipeline. If you don't have the skills of writing the code, right, then you can go with the freestyle project where you have assistant of UI. Okay, if you have hands-on knowledge, the DevOps engineer should have the hands-on knowledge of creating this pipeline into a groovy language. Okay, so declarative pipeline. So I'll be clicking on this pipeline. Okay, so click on this pipeline, then go for okay. So the interface of the Jenkins pipeline will be visible to you, right? So he's stating that, okay, you have just check out creating one Amazon Prime Video. So I'll giving description just to remember. This is for project, okay? This is for project Amazon pipeline. Please subscribe team, okay? So here, if you check over down, then you will be finding that uh, the discard old bill, so that whenever I'm going to create new builds, so that I want to discard the old bill. The best strategy in case of optimizing your storage and you want to keep some history, you can keep as per days or you can keep as per logs as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep it as maximum threes. If you want to keep as per your organization, you say that, okay, our organization has some policy to keep our builds, Jenkins builds of for 1 week, then you can specify like 7 days. Okay, so based on your case, but currently I'm going with the maximum 3 builds. Okay, so here everything is fine, that's fine. Let's go for below over here. Now here, if you check over here, build after another project or build, no, we are not going to trigger this pipeline. So this we will be handling later on. So if you check over here, it's stating that the pipeline, right, pipeline, this pipeline is using Groovy directly or pulling it from source code. Okay, so in this case, we will write our own scripting language. Okay, our pipeline script. So in this case, what will happen? So if you check over here, it's a blank. Okay, so what we can do, the Jenkins has provided some syntax generator. Okay, with this generator I can create pipeline syntax. Okay, and they have given the sample of the pipelines as also. So in this case, you can check it out and you can see that when I'm going to create one hello world, right, so you'll be finding that hello world is right, pipeline is created over here. Okay, so if I'm going to run this pipeline, you'll be finding that the pipeline will be just will be successfully built. Let me apply, save, and let me trigger this. Okay, so left side you're going to see multiple options. Now when I'm going to configure this, when I've configured everything, you're able to find these options. Now if you see the options over here is storing the status. So if the pipeline is triggered, that will printing over here the state. In case of failure or success, you will be printing all the details. Right here you're going to see the changes, like if you have build, after build there is some code has been pushed in your GitHub repository, so that will print you all the changes over here. Okay, this build to trigger the pipeline, that means build, edit, delete. Okay, configure is to edit. Okay, so if I'm clicking on this configure, the same same prompts will be open where you can edit your things. Okay, this is clear to you, right? So build, edit, delete. If I want to delete this pipeline, Amazon Prime Video, I can click on this delete, the pipeline will be deleted. Okay, so what we'll do it now, just I've created one uh, like testing pipeline. So let me build this pipeline. So this pipeline will be built. Okay, so in this pipeline what I've just given, I saying that only echo. Okay, so if I'm going to click on this, so in console output, it's saying that, okay, it has echo as a hello world. Okay, that's it. So what we have given only echo now. So that means it has only printing hello world. Okay, okay. So let me go over here. So if you check over here, the stage view plugin which we have installed, by that plugin we are able to see multiple stages. We currently have only one stage with the name of hello. Okay. So what we will do now, we'll go and we will create one pipeline now. Okay. Okay, so now let's go over here, and what we require now, as we mentioned, that we will take the help of pipeline syntax. If I clicking on this pipeline syntax, right? So what I need to do is the first I need to pull this code, right? The code of my application into Jenkins pipeline, right? In the Jenkins workspace. So what I'm going to do it, I'm going to go over here, is stating that what kind of generator you're going to use. Okay, here I'm going to go with snippet generator. Okay, so here given the steps. So I'm going to click over here, then in the below I'll be finding git. Okay, the git is given, then I need to give the repository URL. Okay, my repository is public. Okay, so that means I'm going to copy this and paste it over here. Okay, and the branch name, let me cross check over here. The branch is main. Okay, so you need to specify which kind of branch is there your source code resides. Okay, so main is there. So here I no need credential of my GitHub account. The reason is that my account on my GitHub repository which I'm going to call from the Jenkins pipeline is public. So in this case you don't require any credentials. Okay, so after here, I'm going to generate pipeline script. So the pipeline script is created. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to change this stage name checkout. Okay. Then afterwards, I'm going to paste it over here. Okay. So what I'm going to do it, I just started with the pipeline and the bracket open, flower bracket open. Then afterwards, I'm specifying the agent. As I mentioned that agent before, right? We are going with the master slave concept. At that time, if we want to run this pipeline into any sorry, if I want to run this pipeline into slave, okay, slave I have given name as a node one. Okay, so here I'm going to give it as node one. Okay, node one instead of any. Okay, so if I'm not giving node 1 or anything else, okay, in this case what will happen, whatever the master or the slave which is vacant, on that the pipeline will be triggered. Okay, in this case we have only Jenkins master, so I'm giving specify as agent any. Okay, so we have added the stage 1. Let me add as a stage 1. Okay, yeah, it is checkout branch. Okay, so what we are going to check out the code from the GitHub. Okay, apply, save. Now what we have done, we have updated our Jenkins pipeline, right? So now I need to build that as well, right? So to check out what are the stage over here, so it's saying that the pipeline has been triggered. Okay, so see, if we check over here, the sequence of this will be given like 1 2 3 4 everything. Okay, so if you check over here, it's stating that the pipeline is success. So that means if you see the pipeline is printing in the green color, that means the pipeline is success. If you see it is in the red color, that means pipeline is failed. Okay, if you failed, you need to troubleshoot, you need to fix all the errors, and you need to restart this pipeline as well. Okay, so usually when you are working in the real environment as well, you will face the failure of the pipelines. Okay, so this is not something that if you're facing this pipeline as a failure, don't think that you are not capable of doing this. This is a day-to-day task of Jenkins, of DevOps engineer. So our tasks are, our responsibility is to find the loopholes or the errors, or the errors, and we need to fix that in order to make smooth environment for the developers and operation team. That means we need to take the code and deploy into different environment in the sense Kubernetes environment or any servers. Okay, so this is fine. So if I'm going to go click on this second build, okay, second build I have opened. Then if I'm going for the console output, right, the changes, everything's console admin, you're able to find that this pipeline was triggered by admin, right? That admin name is 𝗏𝗀𝗏𝗀𝗏. It was triggered by webhook, then you'll be printing the GitHub username. Okay, in this case it's saying that one Jenkins uh, workspace is created with this name. Okay, so let me validate this as well. So on which this Jenkins server is running, that is running on our virtual machine with the name app server. Okay, so simply I'm going to use cd command to go into this directory and hit enter. So if you ls over here, you'll be finding that ls, sorry, ll-a, let's give it. So in the vertical way, okay, you'll be finding that all the code has been fetched to where into my Jenkins workspace. Okay, so when you're creating any pipeline with the pipeline name, one workspace will be created. All the pipeline commands and everything will be executed in this workspace. Okay, so that is clear to you, right, guys? So it is in the Jenkins and it is stored in var lib Jenkins workspace Amazon Prime Video. Okay, that's fine. It's saying that pipeline one first stage is checked out, that is git checkout, right? Git command, and it has cloned the repository which is in the GitHub repository. Okay, GitHub repository, that is 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 19 with the name of Amazon Prime Video Kubernetes. Okay, so it has copied all the code. Even instead of going and seeing the CLI part, you can even see the GUI part as well. If you go to the workspace over here, if you click on this workspace, if you click on this varlib workspace Amazon, you're able to find this all same repository what you're finding on the CLI part of our EC2 instance, you're able to find on Jenkins UI. Okay, so all this code is available over here. Okay, that's fine. So what we have done now, up to now, we have added only one stage, that is of the GitHub checkout. Okay, so this is fine. Now as I mentioned that I need to integrate multiple tools and I need to add their credentials and everything, right? So for that use case, what we'll do, let's go and configure SonarQube. Okay, so here let me go to the SonarQube. I'm going to give it admin. You know very well SonarQube by default the username password will be admin. You can reset after later on. Okay, so I have logged into SonarQube. Then here it's asking me, I'm giving as admin, then it's asking you to reset with the new password. So I'm giving new password. Okay, and I'm going to save later on this password as well. So update this password. So okay, admin, save it. Okay, so if you check over here, you'll be find that SonarQube can be integrated with multiple tools. Okay, like you can integrate with Azure DevOps, Bitbucket Server, Bitbucket Cloud, from GitHub, GitLab. All the options are given. If I'm going for the manual, then I can create project display name, project key, and the branch name. Okay, the same three steps we can create from the pipeline manually as well. Okay, this I will be show you when I'm going to create the pipeline. Okay, Jenkins pipeline. So for this case I will be keeping the same as it is. So let me go open this SonarQube in one more. Okay, so SonarQube is open. Now what we need to do, we need to go and configure SonarQube, right? SonarQube token. So here I need to go into the administrator. Then I'm going to first users. So here I'm going to click on this token. So the prompt will be coming up over here. Then what I'm going to say that please create one token with the name as Jenkins. Just to remember that this token is created for which application is for Amazon Prime Video, right? So I'll be clicking on this generate. Okay, you're able to find that one token has been created. So token is used in order to communicate between Jenkins and SonarQube. Okay, basically what we are going to do it, we are going to authorize Jenkins, right, in order to go and access the SonarQube. Okay, so how you're going to connect this Jenkins and SonarQube using the token. Okay, so simply what I'm going to do it, I'm going to open. Let me just let me open one more tab over here, and I'm going to add it as progress notes. Okay, here I'm going to add it as sonar SonarQube token, and I'm going to paste it over here. So just a second, I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it this token. Okay, token is created. The second step is that we need to create the webhook as well. Okay, so the point is that why do we require to create the webhook? Okay, so this is done. So let me go over here. So one token is created. Now what I need to do it, I need to create webhook token. The reason is that whenever Jenkins pipeline is triggered and the SonarQube is scanned, then SonarQube should send one URL, okay, HTTP post, in order to say that our pipeline is successfully the SonarQube has passed our quality gate. Okay, so for that use case, I'm going for configuration. As I mentioned, I'm going to click on this create. Then I'm going to give it as let's say Jenkins. Okay, I need to give the URL of what URL of my Jenkins server. Okay, so I'm going to copy this Jenkins server, and I'm going to paste it over here URL. After this, I need to give it as, then I need to type over here SonarQube, right? SonarQube start web hook. Okay, simple. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give the URL of my Jenkins server, and then afterwards slash forward slash, then I have to give it SonarQube. Okay, and the dash, and I'm going to keep it as webhook. Secret, I don't require anything. So I'm going to create as, click on create. So what happened? I have created this webhook as well. Okay, so let's go and add in the document as well. SonarQube webhook is created. Okay, okay, that's fine. Okay, so this for SonarQube is fine. SonarQube configuration is done. So now what we have done, we have created the tokens, we have created the webhooks. So now what we need to do, we need to go and add this in Jenkins, right? As I mentioned that I need to integrate, give all these credentials in order to uh, make sure our Jenkins and SonarQube is interacted, is communicated within between these two servers. Okay. So let me go to back to the Jenkins, Okay. So as I mentioned before, right, where you're going to save your your server information. Server information will be saved in systems. Okay. So let me open the system. Here you're going to find what you're going to find as SonarQube. Okay. So go scroll down over here. You're able to find SonarQube. Okay. SonarQube. Let's click on the SonarQube installation. Then I'm going to give it as SonarQube, SonarQube, right? Then I need to give the URL on which SonarQube is up and running, right? So in our case, I'm going to copy the URL of SonarQube, and I'm going to paste it over here. Okay. Simply I need to remove this. It's working on the IP, and the port number is 9000. Okay. Then afterwards, it's asking me to add authentication token. Okay. So for that use case, what we'll do, we'll go back over here and let me open the credentials as well so that we can open one tag. So as I discussed about, this is a vault, right, in which we are going to state the credentials. So simply I'm going to click on this, sorry, just a second, click on this and add credentials. Okay. So here I'm going to give it with a secret test because I have a token. So the token secret is what I have saved over here. The token is over here. Let me save this token into the Jenkins. Let me give it over here. Then I'm going to go with Sonar token, right? Let me just open. It's with the Sonar token, right? So I'll give the same name, right, which I have given over here. ID is Sonar token. So secret test. Then afterwards here also I'm giving the same thing. Okay, I'm going to create here secret. I have given what I have given the SonarQube token which I have created. Okay, so that's fine. Then I'm going to create over here. Okay, as I'm going to create it over here, you're able to find that one token has been created. Let me come to the systems again. Then let me go to down over here in the SonarQube server. Sonar SonarQube. Then afterwards, I'm going to give it the URL on which, then if you check over here, what the credentials I have given, that will be saved over here, right? So I can see in the drop down. So I'm going to check out uh, this credential which I have created. Okay. So just I'm going to give this authentication token. With this authentication token, the Jenkins can interact with the SonarQube. Okay. And it can get the quality gate webhook URL as well as a post to check out that gate has been passed from SonarQube or not. Okay. So just I'm going to apply and save it. Okay. Now we need to configure SonarQube as a tool as well, where we need to configure as a Sonar scanner. Okay. So we already installed the plugins, right? With the plugin only we have configured SonarQube as a server. Okay. So if you scroll down below, you'll be finding one option as SonarQube scanner installation. Okay. You need to click on this to add SonarQube scanner. Click on this. You need to give it the name which you are going to call from Jenkins pipeline. Okay. The same name I'm going to give it in the pipeline as well. Okay. Sonar scanner. Okay. So here I'm going to check it out with the same SonarQube version, Sonar Scanner version. So we no need to add anything over here. So what we did, the prerequisite of adding the credentials related to SonarQube server and SonarQube tool has been configured successfully, right? So I'm going to apply and I'm going to save it over here. Okay. So this part is done. So let's go back into the credentials over here and we will add our our Docker credentials. Okay. The reason is that if we check our flow project flow, I'm going to push the Docker image while creation of this application Docker image to our Docker Hub. Okay. Then from the Jenkins, sorry, from while we are deploying this application into Kubernetes cluster, there in the configuration file like manifest.yml, I'm going to define the image name as well over there. Okay. So let me go over here. Then I'm going to go with username, password, and then later on I'm going to give the name of my Docker Hub account. Okay. So what is the name of my Docker Hub username is over here. Just I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it over here. Okay. Username. So after this, I need to give the password over here, right? So the password, let me just open the password over here. So you need to give your account credentials. Okay. So if you don't have the account, you can go and check it out how to create Docker Hub account, right? Okay, in the ID, I'm going to give it over here. Simply, I'm going to give it over here Docker, right? And here also I'm going to give the Docker. So whatever the ID I'm going to give it the same ID I'm going to call from Jenkins pipeline. Okay. So I have saved username and I have added password over here. I'm going to create over here. Okay. So what happened? I have added SonarQube. I have added Docker as well as Sonar token as well as, right? So what we will do it now, just we have added the tokens. So simply I will go back. We missed out to add the library to install Docker socket. So we will review that as well, and we will install the tool Docker socket in our Linux Ubuntu operating system, right? Which is our virtual machine. So what I'm going to do it, I'm going to go for my repository. In this repository, I have the code over here, right? You can go in the below. That just a second. Okay. So now the credential which I have added a Docker credential as a Jenkins, right? So what I've done, I have saved in the Jenkins. Okay. If you remember, I have saved over here Jenkins, but I need to, in order to communicate with the Ubuntu user, right? So what I'm going to do it, just I'm going to give it as Docker login. So it will add me, it will ask me the username and the password. Okay. So username and password, you know very well that I just have created the user and the password as well, right? The same I'm going to give it here. Okay, and I'm going to paste it. This overview I'll give it now, don't worry about that. Why we are using Docker socket. Okay, the password I need to give it, may give it. So I will able to successfully log in. So after this, what I'm going to do it, I'm going to install Docker socket, right, on my Ubuntu operating system, right? So just I'm going to paste it over here and I'm going to execute this command. So what will happen? It will just install. So it's asking the sudo permission, no problem. Let me switch to sudo su and execute that just right, because of being a Ubuntu user, it will create these issues. Yes, it's saying that Docker socket is successfully installed. The path we have installed Docker socket now. Okay. So the next point, what we will do it, we will go back again over here. Okay, yeah, and I'll go back now my pipeline, right? So the point is that I require Docker file, right? So what we will do it now, let's go and write one Docker file as well. So I'll be explaining you from the scratch how to write Docker file. Okay, first thing we need to just let over here. So what I'm going to do, the keywords you need to understand. First, we need to define the base image. Okay, the base image is node. I can go with the load 70 version, or I can go with the any lightweight image. Okay, so in this case, I'll going with the Alpine. That is means I'm going with the lighter version of node. Okay, so if you want me to review give an overview about that, I'll give you that overview as well. So if you go over here and check it out node, right? So you'll be finding there is official image from the node, right? So here in the node, you have latest all this one like ITS, Alpine, Alpine. Okay. So these are the lighter supported version of the nodes. Okay. So you can go with the latest like light version of node. Okay. To optimize your your Docker image. So to minimize your Docker image size and everything, you can go with the Alpine. Okay. So first we were defining what from where it is there. Then afterwards, I'm going to give it as work directory, right? I'm specifying directory as app, okay? And you need to write the keywords. The starting of the Docker is for capital letters. Then afterwards, you have to give it what are the path and the remaining things, okay? Then we need to copy, okay? Copy the package.json file. So let me go over here to my repository, right? So I can just copy that over here. If you check my repository structure over here, this have the dependency of the application. Okay, that means it's contain the package dependencies that is written in what in package.json file and log package.json file, right? So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to copy into a Docker image. Okay, Docker image while creation of Docker container as well. Okay, then afterward I need to copy this as well in order to create the Docker image. So package.json log is done. Then afterwards, I need to give the path where I'm going to copy into the image or container. Okay, so I'm specified the work directory app. So that in the same work directory, I'm going to copy this from the current directory, right? This where it is in the current directory. Okay, current directory in the sense is that is in Amazon Prime Video directory. Okay, okay, this in the specified in the app. Then afterwards you can go for run the command. This run command will execute when, if you don't know that, you can go and check it out my complete series on Docker. This will be executed while creating Docker images. Okay, so some commands will be executed while creation of Docker image. Some commands will create will work while creation of Docker container out of this Docker image. Okay, so run will execute in which in while creation of Docker image. Okay, if you don't know guys, you need to learn this. You will be asked in the interview. Okay, so then afterwards I need to copy the remaining code into the path which I have specified over here, right? So what I have given the path of my working directory in the container, I have given as app. Okay, this fine. So after that I'm exposing, so just to have the view to everyone, whenever we are writing a Docker file, we are specifying that on which port we are mapping this application. Okay, so by default Node.js application works on 3000 port number. Okay guys, you should remember this as well. Okay, then afterwards cmd commands will come. Cmd commands, what will do, this command will execute while creation of Docker container out of this Docker image. Okay, so here I need to specify what I need to specify the command through which my application will be up and running. So basically my application will be up and running on what, on will be up and running on npm start. Okay, so I'm giving as it is the same way. Okay, so you got my point. This is how you're going to write your Docker file. Simply with this stage you can add the unreadable format as well above here, so that hash, that means it is a text, it's not a command or something else. Okay, hash is to make it is a only read instruction way. Okay, use node.js alpine base image. Okay, this kind of things you can do it. So this I'm going to copy, right? I'm going to go into the Docker file. Okay, edit, and I'm going to paste it. Okay, you got my point. So this is successfully done. Okay, so I already have Docker file. Just I show you that. Just I'm giving define with this as well, base image, Docker file, and everything. Okay, so in the container we copied to the working directory. We have specified working directory as an app. Okay, so after this, what we will do it now, we need a Docker file is done. So simply everything is there. Just we need to go and add Jenkins file. Okay. So the Jenkins file are already written. Just I'm going to show you there is two Jenkins files. One is for the stage one, second stage two. Okay. So just for the stage one, what I'm going to do it, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to go on to Jenkins, right? Then I'm going to go for the pipeline over here, then into the configure, right? Then afterwards, let me just remove everything, right? I'm going to paste it over here. Okay, so here you're going to see that. Okay, let me review the stage of, okay, this stage. Okay, this we have not configured, right? So we will add this as well, but what we will do it now, let's me discuss about this Docker Jenkins file. Okay, so if you check in the Jenkins file over here, let me copy and explain you clearly. Let me add it over here and paste it. Okay, so let me zoom as well. So here, as I mentioned, we already covered this, right? So here what we do, we need to configure jdk and jdk 17. Okay, this part also we have missed out. So what we'll do, let's go and configure this part. Okay, so let's go into the Jenkins. Let me go here, the manage Jenkins, into the tool. Okay, into the tool, then what we will do, we will configure jdk. Okay, jdk, I'm going to give it as the name jdk only, because I'm going to call with the same name from the Jenkins pipeline. Okay, so after this, just remove over here, install automatically, just click it over here, cancel this, then add installer. I'm going to go with install with adoptium.net. Okay, Here in this version, I'm going to go with JDK 17.00. Let me go with this. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to define JDK's small JDK name. With this name, I'm going to call from Jenkins pipeline. The version is given over here. Then I need to go for Node.js as well. So Node.js installation is there. This was enabled after installing the plugin of Jenkins. Okay, do you remember? You should remember that this was by default, it was not available. So what we have done, we need to go into Node.js and I need to give the name as Node 17, right? Then afterwards, I need to select Node 17 as well. Let me go over here. Okay, so this is done. Then apply and save it. Docker I already installed on this EC2 instance, right? I have configured also. So I need to do as a plugin. Okay, but here I have not done any Node.js. See if you check over here, it's saying that I haven't installed Node.js. So instead of installing Node.js, instead of installing Node.js application, I have configured as a tool. Okay, so that's fine. Just what we need to do is that we need to configure the system now. Okay, in the system, what we need to do it, we need to add SMTP server. Okay, so if you check the flow of this our diagram, you're able to find that we are adding email alerts for the pipeline. Okay, so for that use case, what we required SMTP server. Okay, credentials. That means in our use case, we can use Gmail access. Okay, Gmail account, we can convert the Gmail account into SMTP server. Okay, you got my point. So simply I'm going to go for my Gmail account. Okay, then I'm going to click it over here. Then I'm going to go for manage your Google account. Then security. In the security, I need to search for app password. Okay, so app password is done. After that, I need to give the password, right? So I'm into the password now. So what I need to do is that I need to create one application app token. Okay, so basically you can call as app password as well. So here I'm going to give it as a prime video. So just to remember, that is created for this application. Okay, so it's created, it's giving me token. Let us copy this and add into progress document. Okay, so let me go over here, Gmail, Gmail pass token, and paste it over here, right? So this is done. So what I'm going to do it now, just I'm going to go over here. This is done from my pre-request. It's fine. Okay, I'm going to close it now. Then afterwards, I'm going into the Jenkins. I'm going for credentials. Okay, let me go to the credentials again. So I can add these credentials. Okay, so let's go to global, click on this add credentials. Okay, in the add credentials, what I'm going to read username and password. Okay, username password, in case what I need to give, I need to give my account as username, and the password I need to give the token which I have created just now. Okay, so I'm going to copy this token and I'm going to paste it over here. Okay, so the ID I need to give it as SMTP token. Okay, SMTP token. Okay, so with this name we can call from the Jenkins pipeline. Okay, just click name everything, token everything, create. Okay, so whatever we have added the credentials of SMTP token as well. Okay, so let me go over here. Then afterwards, what I was doing, let me 1 second. Then afterwards, I'll go back to manage Jenkins. There, here I need to configure this, right? I need to configure this system. In the system, right, I'm going to find for email notification. Okay, email notification. Let me search for email notification. Will be in the end. So email, extended email notification over here. Okay. So in the email notification, I need to give it over here smtp dot gmail.com, right? We are using Gmail as SMTP server. Okay. So after this, I need to give it prefix as gmail.com. Okay. And here I need to give all the details. Like I'm going with the use SMTP authentication. Username will be my email address. So let's me copy my email address over here, right? Email address and the password as we have done just now, right? So let me go to the my document. I'll be copying this and I'm going to paste it. Okay. So this is done. Afterwards, I'm going with the use SSL, right? Just we are saying that use SSL. I need to define the port number, right? So the port number I already enabled while creation of this server. That is this EC2 instance, right? 465. So I'll be going over here and I'm going to give it 465. Okay. 465. After that I need to say that okay, whenever the email is replied back on if Jenkins is sending one email to the multiple users and recipients. So if recipient want to reply to the email, right? So who goes going to receive this email? Here I'm going to give my email address. Okay. What you need to give it as, you need to give your email address, guys, and your password. Then afterwards you need to give over here as well your email address. Okay. So now I have added over here. Let us test that the username password it is working or not, right? So let me add over here. As I mentioned, let me give it my email address in order to check my email, right? Test my email receivings. Okay. So it will take some time. So it's saying that email was successfully done. Okay. So that means email was sent successfully. Okay. That means our username and the passkey which I've created is working fine. Okay. So what we have done, we have enabled email notification, but we need to add one more, that is extended email. Okay. So you need to add both things. So for that use case, what you need to do, you need to go over here in the extended email. Then I need to give it at smtp dot gmail.com. Then I need to give the port as 587. If you remember that we have already enabled this email address. Here you need to give the credentials, okay, in the form of vault. Okay. So I have already added the credential in SMTP token. Okay. So here I need to check out as I mentioned, right? I have added over here. Then I'm going to go with SSL. Okay. We'll go with TSL. Okay. Then it's asking me surfx. So I can give it as at gmail.com. Gmail.com. Okay. So that's fine for me. Apply and save it. Okay. Just fine. So now let us discuss about the Jenkins file. Okay. So if you check over the Jenkins file as we were discussing, first I have to define JDK, that is JDK tool, which I have configured already just now, right? We have configured Node.js as well with the name of what? Node 17 version and the name as Node.js. Okay. So that's fine. And the SonarQube tool, as I mentioned that I have mentioned as Sonar Scanner, right? The tool I need to I need to create one environment of SonarQube, right? For that, I need to give it as Sonar Scanner tool. Tool what we have set up Sonar Scanner. Okay, if you remember that I have set up SonarQube server and SonarQube tool, that is Sonar Scanner. Okay, then I'm saying that whenever the build is done, before the build, please create the workspace. What is our workspace? The workspace is Jenkins workspace Amazon Prime Video. So whatever the file is available over here, right? So whatever file will be available, that all will be deleted. Okay. So that means it will clean these files. Then afterwards it will fetch git checkout from git. Okay. We are going with the public repository, right? So after that, what I'm going to do, I have told you that, right? So here I'm going to specify the key and the project name from here in the Jenkins pipeline. Okay. So let me go this point as well in the SonarQube. Let me check where it was SonarQube. See here. So as you remember that I said that I will be explaining you in the Jenkins pipeline, declarative pipeline when I'm creating, right? So if you check over here, I need to give what project display name. Okay. So here what I'm going to do it project display name. So project name I'm giving as Amazon Prime Video. That's fine. Then afterward it's saying that you need to give one project key, right? So for that key I'm giving as the same that Amazon Prime Video. Okay. Just we require two things. Then afterward the branch is main. So here in the case we are going with the main branch. I don't need to specify anything. Okay. Then afterwards I'm going with the quality gate. Then in the quality gate I have added as sonar token. So let me cross check this as well. In the credentials, let me go to manage Jenkins and let me go to credential part, sonar token. That's fine. Sonar token, right? So that's also fine. So what I'm saying that, okay, please take the token. The token in the sense is that I have given the Sonar URL and Sonar web token, right? A Sonar token, what we have created from SonarQube server, right? The next stage, I'm going with the install dependency because this is Node.js application. I need to install npm install, right? So to make sure that all the dependency of my application is installed, right? And then only we can go for the scan. So in the scan we are using Trivy to scan our file system, right? Whatever the code is available in our GitHub repository, that need to be scanned to check any vulnerabilities, any sensitive information has been leaked or not, right? So it will create a trivy.file file scan the current directory and specifying that current directory represents into to the working directory, that is Amazon Prime Video, okay, and this folder, okay. Then afterwards, the, okay, then the next stage, then I'm saying that after scanning, uh, convert this file into readable format, that is tvfs.txt, okay. Then afterwards I'm saying that, okay, docker build and push, okay. So in this case what I'm going to do it, I'm going to build this application, right? So how we are going to build this, sorry, docker image, okay. In this case I'm going to give it build a docker image, okay, Amazon Prime Video. We have a Docker file just now what we have created. Then afterwards I'm going to tag with the name of Amazon Prime Video, and it's going to push where the tag will be with this ASIM 19 Amazon Prime Video dot latest, okay. This name whatever I'm going to give it, that need to be tagged with my account name, okay. Then afterward I'm pushing this into my registry, that means my account, okay, with the tag as a latest, okay. You got my point. So I'm pushing the Docker image, then afterwards I'm scanning this Docker image, okay. So using Docker Scott image, so that we should know whatever the vulnerabilities available. So Docker will have own database. With that database, it will scan a vulnerabilities and everything. It will give us the print result as well. Okay. Here in the Trivy, it's using the Trivy database. Okay. So please don't get confused. They have their own database, CVE, right? So after that, we are going to deploy this application with the image what we have created above, right? Amazon Prime Video dot latest, and it will port map with 3000, 3000. 3000 we already enabled in security group of this EC2 instance. Okay, if you remember. Then afterwards, what will happen? Whatever the stage of this status of this pipeline, build is success or failure, we should receive the email, okay. Here you're able to find that there is email address I have given. Who should receive this email address? I should receive, that is Asim 19 from Asim 19, okay, because we have added SMTP server on this email address, okay. Reply to, if somebody want to reply, then I'm going to receive this email, okay. So in this case you need to override these three emails, okay. So you need to give it your email address for this three, okay, so that you will receive the email address, okay, while uh, creating this project, okay. So if you have come across up to this part, that means you're getting interested in this project. So don't forget to share, subscribe with your friend as well, okay, so that help me to grow my channel, and whatever efforts is taking, that can be highly appreciated through like and subscribe and comment, okay. So what let me just copy this. Okay, as I mentioned, I'm going for Jenkins part, and let me just delete the stages and print it over here. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to apply and save it. Okay. So now if you check over here, I'm going to build this. Okay. I'm going to build this pipeline. So in this build pipeline, it will start building all the stages. Okay. First stage is declared to tool installation. If we face any failure of this any stages, we will troubleshoot and we will fix it. Okay, don't worry about that. So installation dependency was done. Okay, that's fine. So what happened with the quality gate? Let us check this as well. So it's in progress. Sonar task is okay. Checking the status of SonarQube task server. SonarQube task status in progress. SonarQube status in progress. Sonar task quality gate is okay. So we receive this information as well. If you check it over here, it's stating that our pipeline is successful, right? If we check the stages over here, declared to tool installation is successfully done, clear workspace is done, checkout from this checkout from GitHub, the Git clone that is done successfully, and the SonarQube analysis is done successfully, install dependency. Then we have scan the Trivy file system. Okay. Afterward, Docker build and push. Okay. So what happened? We have created a Docker image and build and push to Docker Hub. Okay, afterwards it's creating the scan with the Docker squad, and then we have scanned with the Trivy as well, right? And the file is done. After that, we have deployed into Docker container. Okay, so after that, we have sent one email to our email. So let's go in the reverse way and let us finalize the last option, that if I'm going to go and check out on this part, right? Okay, if you check it over here, I received the email, right? So if I open the email, it's stating that the Jenkins Amazon Prime Video CI/CD pipeline status. Okay, so it's stating that, okay, just I think I have, yes, that's fine. Then afterward, the project name also has been defined. The build number is 3. If you check over here, the build number is 3, right? The build number is 3. Okay, that's fine. So after that, if you check over here, then afterwards it had attached two email, two documents. Okay, so in our Jenkins pipeline as well, we have in the pipeline, we have specified that to attach two files. Okay. If you check over here, I have requested in the pipeline, I specified to attach trivy.fstx and trivy image.tx, which we are creating in two stages. Okay. One with the trivy Docker image and the second with the what trivy fs scan. Okay. So what were the stages? The trivy fs scan and trivy Docker image. Okay, these two are attached over here. So now what we will, if I'm opening this file over here, right? So let me just unzoom so that it should be in the structure way. So if you check over here, right? So it's stating that your application, what we have specified in package.json, right? So our application is using this library. So this library has a vulnerability that is recorded in with this number as in 2023 with the number of this, and the severity, it is medium. Okay, if we check over report over here, it's stating that 34 vulnerabilities are there. But the good part is that no secret has been exported in our file system. That means the code what is there in the GitHub repository, right? That there is no sensitivity, secret information has been recorded. So that is a good part about that. Okay, and then let's go further down. It's saying that in this package JSON you have the dependency. Out of that, there is a 24 has been reported. Okay, in this you have 4 low, 17 medium, high 12, and critical 1. Okay, so they have given, so we will be sharing this document with the developer. So developer, what way they will do it, they will fix this high and critical first, and they will notify to the DevOps engineer that this task has been completed. Okay, this task will be given to developer by your team lead through Jira management, right? The project management tool Jira or any in-house tool, they have it. Okay, they will create a ticket and they will issue to the developer. So developer will work on this and he will update this in the Node.js application in the package.json dependency file. Okay, there he will just update this version with this 4.31. Okay, 4.32. So with this one, he will update everything, okay, and he will inform DevOps engineer that this has been done, okay, in the ticket as well. So as a DevOps engineer, I will run this one more time to make sure that this all to be 0. That means this file will be blank at the time, okay. So that means we are making sure that all the dependencies of our application is up to date. There is no vulnerabilities has been recorded, okay. What kind of vulnerabilities is there over here is that, you know, uh, improper input validation, denial of service. Okay, denial of service means it can cause the application to be crash, or there is a DDoS attack, any kind of things is exposing our application to threat. Okay, in the general terminology. So this is done. Even later on, I have one more file that is package JSON. Sorry, of Docker image. Okay, so here it's saying that this is Alpine is fine. There is no vulnerabilities. Then afterwards, I'm using package JSON. It has two vulnerabilities. This kind of things will be given to them. Okay, this all document will be shared to developer as well. Okay, and the DevOps engineer. So Docker one, this one will be fixed by DevOps engineer. Okay, so this part, the last stage is successfully done, right? So let after that, yeah, I have deployed to where container. Okay, so let's go and check it out that as well. So is my application is accessible or not, right? So let me go over here and open this and give it as 3000. Okay, so if I hit 3000 over here, I should be able to find my application. See, so if you check over here, you're able to find that this application is accessible. This application is Prime Video, Amazon Prime Video, where you can find the movies and everything from Amazon. Okay, this is a simple application, that is Amazon Prime Video. Okay, that's fine for you, right? So this stage also been checked out. Now before that, what with Trivy we have already done. Now what we will do, we will go and cross check Docker. Okay, so in the Docker, if I'm going over here, right, into my file, let me go to my repositories over here. So you're able to find that one image has been pushed over here. Okay, that is 9 minutes ago. So you'll be find that it is tagged with the latest, as I mentioned. The name also been tagged as Amazon Prime Video, right? So Docker image has been pushed over here. Okay, install dependency done. Now what we need to check it out, that SonarQube a project is created and it has been scanned or not, right? So in this case, we'll go back to SonarQube. Okay, and let me go to the project. Okay, if I check on this project, I will to find that there is a one project has been created by Jenkins. Okay, because we have given them authentication as well in the terms of SonarQube key. Okay, and the passkey what I've created, I have given over there. Okay, so with that, it's showing that, okay, once Amazon Prime Video is there, here is showing that I have 6 bugs, one vulnerability, 3 security hotspot. Okay, security review is Okay, smell code is 87. Total lines are 13k. Okay, 13k is there, 13,000 lines are there. So this 13,000 line cannot be traced by human. So in this case, SonarQube will come to play and it will scan everything your source code of your project, and it will give all the things, right? Like how many smells are there, bugs are there, vulnerabilities are there. If you click on the vulnerability, it's saying that restricted IP address authorized to access administration service. Okay, so this will be shared. All this will be shared to where? To this will be shared to developer. Okay, this will be shared to developer. If this is related to developer, he will fix it. If it is related to any configuration file that is related to DevOps engineer, then DevOps engineer will fix it. Okay, so mostly this will be depend on the DevOps in to the developer. So developer will have the access of SonarQube server. In the terms of administration, we will create a user of SonarQube and we will share that credential with the developer. Okay, so developer will be given this task through Jira project management. He will take this task and what he will do, he will fix these bugs. Okay, so simply you're seeing that there is an unexpected shortened transition after transition duration. Okay, so with this one, we'll make sure that this should be 0 0. Okay, everything should be A. Okay, A grade, it should be available. Okay, so that we can make sure that our project code is clean and structured way. Okay, instead of writing one only simple simple code with 10 lines, okay, instead of handling with the 3 lines. So the structure and everything will be reviewed by SonarQube. Okay, so in this case, what we happen, we have scanned with that SonarQube, and SonarQube as well have pushed as a webhook, so that stating that this uh, SonarQube gate is passed. Okay, so able to find that now all the stages have been successfully done, whatever the stages we have set, right? So if I want to go and check the history console output of this one, right? So you're able to find that all the stages has been passed, right? So we can check it out. This one, Trivy is done. Then afterward, layering is done. Okay, preparing mounting is done. Pushed tool, image store. See, you're going to see the output of Docker card. Okay, it's stating that, okay, what is there? It's saying that a target is this, a base image is this. Okay, then you have updated base image. Okay, it's saying that view vulnerability. Okay, what are the vulnerabilities has been there? It's stating all the details, right? This kind of library vulnerabilities. Okay, this vulnerability, there is a vulnerability in this one. Okay, the versions, right? So we need to update the versions, and everything is coming over here, right? So this all will be shared with developer as well. Okay, as I mentioned that using Docker scat as well. So here, instead of printing like this, we can create one Docker dot any .txt file, and we can put this data inside that as well, as we done with the Trivy as well, right? So this part is completed. So what we have done completely up to now, that we have created one pipeline, right? With that pipeline, we have triggered everything, and we have deployed our application into as a Docker container onto EC2 instance, right? If you have guys not subscribed, please do subscribe so that you give support to my works. Okay.